on the issue of the global balance of power, this is an unquantifiable measure and a phrase that I'm not sure how much meaning there is behind it. The US remains the preeminent military power in the world. It remains the only military power that is able to deploy in substantial numbers globally and on multiple fronts at any one time. China does have a development program that's outlined in 3 stages that anticipates that by 2050 it will be a military power to rival that of the US currently. That obviously relies on continued economic growth within China, sustainment of its domestic stability, and lots of other factors as well. So whether that will actually be reached is unclear. You can look at various different measures to think about global balance of power. If we look at aircraft carriers, for instance, it's likely that by the end of this decade, or within 10 years, China may have 3 aircraft carriers. India will likely have 3 aircraft carriers. But the US will still have 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers that are of substantially greater capability. So in terms of power projection, certainly the US and its Western partners will remain the predominant military powers for at least 1 to 2 decades. In other areas, we are seeing Asia actually outpace growth in the West. If we look at, for instance, helicopter carriers and amphibious assault vessels, there's been a vast expansion in the number of vessels in countries such as Japan, investment in countries such as South Korea, and even Russia buying French amphibious assault vessels as well. So there, while Asian powers have not overtaken Western powers in total number, they are certainly outpacing in terms of the growth of flat-top vessels as well, and we demonstrate that in a graphic in the military balance. So I think it really depends on what you're looking at, but in terms of globally projectable forces, the Western powers will be the predominant military power for decades at least.